Okay, so in previous lecture I talked about the mechanics of a single particle, and I discussed the Newton's second law in details, and then I have discussed the conservation of linear and angular momentum and also the conservation of energy. So in this video I will discuss the mechanics of a system of particles, and this video will include equation of motion for such a system, conservation of linear and angular momentum, and expression for angular momentum in terms of center of mass. Since we know that the Newton's second law is equal to F is equal to P dot, so now if the particle is in a system of interacting particles, then it will experience force from those particles, it will experience internal forces. So now you can see the first equation is the left side of first equation is representing the total force. It contains two terms. So the first term is the internal forces. It means the force exerted on ith particle due to jth particle, and it is summed over j. Plus the second term is the total external force on that ith particle and is equal to momentum derivative. So this I have not changed anything. So this is the equation of motion for a single particle in an interacting. So now I can write this equation of motion for each and every particle of a system, and then I can sum up of all these terms to describe my system. So now this equation which you are seeing, it is for the whole system. So the first term is the internal forces, means that if our particle is I, then it is internal force due to all other jth particles. Similarly, if we are considering jth particle, then this will be the force due to all others ith particles. The second term is the total external force acting on each and every individual particles, and on the right side we have the time derivative of momentum as usual. So this first term will vanish. It is because of Newton's third law. Newton's third law says that if a particle exerts a force on another particle, then the other particle will also exert an equal and opposite force. So when we will expand this expression, so we will get equal and opposite terms. So since it is a vector, so all those terms will vanish. So we are left with only these two terms. On the left we have total external forces acting on each and every particle, and on the right side we have the total we have only the momentum of each and every particle summed up. So to proceed further, let us define a vector. So you see, I am defining a vector in this fashion, that the mi ri over mi. So clearly it has the dimensions of meter or the dimensions of length. So if the total mass of the system is capital M, so this expression becomes this. So if I shift M on other side, so I can get summation I mi ri is equal to M times capital R. So this is what we are interested in. So I can use this value in the above equation. So I will get this equation, you can see. So total external forces acting on the ith particle is equal to capital M double time derivative of R. And now what is this R? This R is called the center of mass or the center of gravity. It is a point in a system. So external forces acting on the particles is equal to capital F. Then I can write this above equation in this way. The benefit of writing the equation of motion in terms of center of mass is that now we don't have to solve the equation of motion for each and every particle of the system. All we have to do is to find the total external forces, and thus with the help of center of mass we can study the entire dynamics of the system. We can study the dynamics of the entire system without studying the dynamics of each and every particle. So this is the benefit, this is the achievement using this position vector R. So if the total external forces acting on a system is 0, then the linear momentum of the center of mass of that system is conserved. So this is the conservation law for linear momentum of a system of many particles. Next is the conservation of angular momentum for a system of particles. The angular momentum for a single particle is defined in this way, that is Ri cross Pi, where I represents the particle and P is a linear momentum and Ri is the position vector with respect to origin. It must be noted that we are considering the angular momentum about this point O. So this is the Newton's second law, and now I want to find an expression for angular momentum for the system of particle. Okay, now consider an ith particle in the system and the position vector of that particle with respect to our origin is Ri. So taking cross product of this Ri vector with the Newton's second law here, so I can get this equation. So this equation is just simply a cross product of the Ri with this Newton's second law. Now again the middle term will vanish, it is a consequence of Newton's third law. So now you can see in the diagram the forces which ith particle exerts on the jth particle is directed along the line Rij, and similarly the jth forces will be directed on the same line. So this term, if we expand this, then this term will vanish. So we are left with only these two terms. On the left we have Ri cross Fi, and on the right we have the time derivative of angular momentum, because this Ri cross Pi is the definition of angular momentum. So I can, since by definition R cross F is equal to N, which is torque, and R cross P is equal to L, which is angular momentum, so I can write this expression. And finally, if the total external torque is represented by this symbol capital N, and total angular momentum is represented by this symbol L, so I can write this in this equation of motion, which is the N is equal to L dot. Now we can clearly see that if the total external torque is 0, the left side of the equation becomes 0, and we have the L dot is equal to 0. So this implies L is equal to constants. So it can be put in this way, that if the total external torque acting on a system of particle becomes 0, then the total angular momentum of that system of particle is conserved. Okay, so next we are going to find an expression for angular momentum for such a system. So this equation defines the angular momentum. It is how the angular momentum is defined. So now if we have a system of particles, so I can find the angular momentum by this expression, and thus we can sum up and we can find the angular momentum of the entire system. So this equation by definition is representing the angular momentum of the entire system. Now consider an ith particle in the system whose position vector with respect to origin is Ri, and position vector with respect to center of mass is Ri prime, and R is the position vector of center of mass with respect to our coordinate system. So using simply head to tail rule, I can write this expression. You can see this diagram here. So if I differentiate this expression, then I can get this relation, which says that which simply the Vi is the velocity of ith particle with respect to origin, and Vi prime is the velocity of the particle with respect to the center of mass, and V is the velocity of center of mass. So now these are the values which we have obtained. So putting the value of Ri in the above equation, and also putting the value of momentum, which is Pi is equal to Mi into Vi, so I get this expression. It's very simple. So now you see that this situation is like A plus B cross C. So I can expand it like A cross C plus B cross C. So now this equation is just an expansion using this rule. So I have not changed anything, I have not done anything, so it is just an expansion here. Okay, so in next equation the first term is as it is, and now we see that the summation I mi into vi, this is equal to capital M into velocity of center of mass. It is very simple. I already discussed the position vector of center of mass, so all you have to do is to differentiate it, then you will get this result. It's quite obvious. And the second term is obvious, that I can write M in the place of MIVI. I write this. So now the situation is like this. We have total angular momentum is equal to capital R cross M into V plus summation Ri prime cross Pi prime. So let us explain what is this. Now the total angular momentum of a system of particle is equal to the first term. This term is the angular momentum of center of mass. So it means center of the total angular momentum is equal to the angular momentum of center of mass with respect to point O plus the second term is the angular momentum with respect to center of mass. It is not with respect to point O. So it means that if we need to find the angular momentum of a system of a particle, so all we have to do is to find the angular momentum of center of mass with respect to our point, and then find the angular momentum of each and every particle with respect to center of mass. For individual particles, then we don't need to find the angular momentum with respect to point O. So this is an expression for the angular momentum of a system of a particle.